Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can we all hear me? Hello, good evening. Can we hear me? Good evening, everyone. Can we hear me? Oh, good afternoon, rather. Hello, good afternoon. Please, can someone confirm that they can hear me?
Good afternoon, sir. We can hear you.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Welcome to our closing ceremony, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Um, we want to say a big thank you to all mentees that have been able to make it on time for the events. So we'll be starting right about now because we want to make sure that we finish in good time, right? So yeah, we'll be beginning now. So just to get us started, I want to say well done so far to every single person. We have come a very, very long way in the program. We've had the opportunity to go through 7 weeks of this mentorship session, and I know for some of us, technically it may have been a little bit challenging considering that you have to mix it with a few other activities that you may be that you might have had to deal with, and other just generally other stuff. So I want to say congratulations for still persevering and making it thus far. Well done to every single one of our mentees. And I also want to say a big thank you to every mentor that has, taken out the time, that are taking out the time to make sure that they were present, they were in the session, they were able to contribute in such a big way, right? For our mentors, a lot of them are people who are very, very busy, but they did well to take out of their busy schedules to join us for this mentorship. And we just want to show our big sign of appreciation to every single one of them. Thank you so much to all our mentors. I can see we already have some of them joining in for the session. Thank you so much, our mentors. We are really, really, really happy to have our mentors who are here on the call. So not to waste any time, please, I want to kindly encourage us to keep our videos turned on, right? Let's have our videos turned on so that we can get to see you and interact with you. And like this is obviously the last time we'll be getting to have this interaction like this, right? So please, if it's going to be possible from your end, kindly do well to keep your video on. So I just want to like give us a brief of what the proceedings of today is going to look like. So we are going to be starting off with a keynote discussion from the co-founder of the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program, Mr. Joseph Obo, right? We met him during the business and human rights session. He was one of the mentors who took that session. He'll be here again with us to run with us through our keynote, right? More like a 20 minutes encouragement for our mentees to just give you overall a general discourse for our I'm trying to find the words for our desires and wish for you in that sense, right? And how we want you to see the posts the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program. So yeah, we would be having Mr. Joseph give us a 20 minutes keynote discussion, and then we'll also move back to the mentees. We want to hear you. We want to listen to you, right? You've been in this program for 7 weeks, so we want to hear you share your experience with us. How has the program been for you? What are some of your experience, and how do you plan to use the information and the knowledge you have gathered over the course of 7 weeks, right? We want to hear from you. And we will now be taking, I will now be listening to our mentors also share the mentors that are on the call. We will also get to hear them share maybe a word of advice to the mentees, right? So the way it's going to be for the mentees, right? It's going to be you introduce yourself, you tell us your name, you tell us which course you are in, and then you tell us how the program has been for you and what you plan to use the knowledge to do after the program. So it's going to be 3 minutes for each mentee. Just try to be as quick and straightforward as possible. So yeah, thank you very much. And then after that, we'll move on to taking pictures. We'll take pictures, and then maybe just a last saying, just a last word of encouragement, and then we'll close the session. So thank you once again, everyone who has been able to make it here. And we will be starting about now. I don't know if Mr. Joseph is ready. Mr. Joseph, thank you so much, sir, for joining. We are happy to have you on the call. So, sir, we want to just hear you in the next 20 minutes. Just run us through what you have prepared for our mentees as a last word towards them while we close the program. Mr. Joseph, if you're with us, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Mr. Dennis. I'm very excited to be here, and I must tell you that for you to have come through the... Sorry, am I audible? I don't know.
Yes, sir, you're audible. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, but is my video flickering?
Not at all.
That means you can't see me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, I think I was having a little glitch with my phone here. Yeah, so I just wanted to congratulate each and every one of us. Most
Hello, sir. We can't hear you anymore. Your speaker is muted.
Yeah, the network logged me out. So let me just quickly dive in because I don't trust what's really happening with my phone right now. Yeah, so very quickly, I just want to congratulate us for the shift in our mindset. I'm supposed to be appearing here as Gypsy, so let me quickly flip that. Let me flip that very quickly. Just give me a few moments. A few moments to do that. But while I'm trying to realign with Gypsy Academy, I just want to congratulate us, like I said. Firstly, to all our mentors, thank you for the sacrifice. Some of us would not know how much it really cost the mentors to really show up on this program. And they're not paid. None of the mentors are paid. And I can tell you for free that a lot of them put in what could be valued in the thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, if I may put it that way. So it's just from Gypsy, from myself, Obo Joseph, saying a very big thank you to all our mentors. So today I want to just quickly share. I want to share briefly on, should I say, part of my experience as somebody who has worked with companies, or should I say, yeah, corporate bodies, corporate organizations at the boardroom level. So I want to draw some inspiration from how that you can live your life, you can systemize your life in a boardroom format. So that's what today's keynote basically would be about. I have a presentation, but we can send it out via email. It might be useful to someone in the future. So today is just to challenge us. It's just to challenge us because sometimes I personally believe that once you have a lot of information, it's necessarily not the information that counts. It's primarily what you do with that information. We've gone through 6 to 7 weeks of conversations, submission of assignments. We've done group studies. We've worked together, worked in teams, collaborated with one another. But will all of that end today? Or are you going to see the past couple of weeks as a foundation for what the future what the future would hold for you. So the first comment I would make basically would be that your future will not be determined by your talent. It will be determined by the systems that you have in place. That's we must have heard, 1,000 times over. And I'll share a brief story. I once worked with a company. A company that I would say, in terms of assets, they had assets in the billions of naira, not in dollars, anyways. But it was a growing company, and this company had everything that it needed to really be that company that makes Nigeria proud within oil and gas, within real estate, within investments. But along the line, the chief executive of this company, um, he would funnel resources of the company towards meeting the demands, should I say extramarital demands. Imagine your company makes 100 million and you spend like 30 million on babes, things like that. So along the line, Dennis, you're having a little smile on your face. So along the line, it just kind of appeared that the center could not hold. The center could not hold, not because we didn't have, or the company did not have, the right indices for growth, but the vision of the CEO was misaligned from the vision of the company. And there were no proper checks and balances to be able to have, even though those checks and balances were there, they were there in writing, but they were necessarily not there in the real sense of it. They were not there in the action of it. And at the end of the day, this company now became a company that it's wound up beyond wind up. There were a lot of legal cases around the CEO who at some point had to go into hiding. Police were looking for them. And of course, when you're a secretary to a company in that kind of regard, you would definitely be invited and to see how you can, of course, clear your name and, provide some level of information to see how that CEO would subject himself to the law in that real sense of it. So the point I'm saying is, if you do not run on a structure, if you do not run on a structure for your own life, not the structure that your lecturers have created for you, not the structure that your parents are advising you on, not the structure that is trying to foist on you. If you do not design a proper system for your life, much of the time you would have had the opportunity to go through programs like this, but at the end of the day, we might not necessarily be able to say, okay, as a result of this Gypsy mentorship program, this is where the mentees are. I would also share a few stories from some of our mentees who have gone through this program, some of them in very top universities across the world. And one thing that Gypsy has done over the years is to see how when people come with requests, maybe you have an application, a scholarship, even to the Harvards of this world, we've written recommendations for persons to be able to progress with their own professional journey. That is a structure. So the question is, what are you basically going to do beyond all that you have heard? Then I would like to also say that you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional, even in the friends that you keep, the people you relate with, the professional colleagues that you tag along with. And I would say that because, the university I went to, by the grace of God, a lot of my colleagues are in Abuja currently, and we interact, do a lot of interaction, but the mindset that a lot of people have, that system of collaboration, everybody wants to have a solo law firm. Everybody wants to have a solo business. Everybody just wants to do something that has their name on it. And at the end of the day, a lot of people would necessarily not go too far because you think you can go at it alone. I'm not saying that it's not possible to get certain things done by yourself, but imagine you have 10 individuals who are powerhouses in their own right, everybody coming together to say, let's build something that would last. So my advice to us, as a result of this keynote is to say that let's come together. There are some persons you may have met during this mentorship program. Do not allow those conversations to cease after this mentorship program. Come together, take the relationships further, try to see how you can collaborate with people. If you are a lawyer, you may have a lawyer somewhere. You might want to collaborate with somebody within the tech space, somebody who understands systems and structures, people who understand marketing, who understand sales. Like, build an ecosystem out of the relationships that you've had during this mentorship program. And I can tell you that it's very, very easy to do that because you've sat down, of course, virtually with a lot of people with different backgrounds, different opportunities, people who have access to different, PowerPoints. And it's your responsibility to see how you can sell that vision. If you are the visionary, for example, sell a vision to someone, come together, interact with people, build something that would outlive this gypsy experience. Like I said, your decision system is very important, your information system. I really don't have enough time to do this, but I would also like to say that it's important for you to have a system of strategy. Personally, I do a lot of brainstorming once in a while, and I realize that, even having done everything around your 3-year vision, your 1 year, what are you focusing on within the next 12 months? What is your 90-day execution plan? Those things are very beautiful. They are very exciting. It's very stimulating to have a lot of all these documents. But when you have those documents and you live in the world of hope, hope is not a strategy. That's the point I was actually trying to make. Hope is not a strategy. We have to move beyond hope. Gypsy must have opened the eyes of a lot of us to see what's possible out there. We have our mentors. We can model them, the ones you want to model. You can model some of the mentors that you have. You can interact with them, ask questions, let them really discuss, what are the strategies that they have used, to deal in the last 10 years. Some of us, we have over 15, 20 years of experience on our belts, and we are in that place where we really want to share with people that want to listen. So you can spend 30 minutes with somebody who has a 20-year experience, and the person would save you the errors that they made within that 20-year period. So that means you are collapsing time, one way or the other. So I want to encourage us, reach out. Do not fail in well-doing. Do not fail in reaching out. Reaching out is your well-doing. Do not sit back and expect that people are going to come to you. You be the person that goes out of your way to reach out to people and to see how their lives can be valuable to you personally as a person. I'm not saying you should not stick to your vision statement, your execution strategy, your plans. All those are beautiful, but do not sit on the gunpowder of hope expecting that things are going to change when you have not necessarily put in all the work that is required to get certain things done. So I would just say that your journey, your future is a future that is lined up with that is going to be lined up with many transformational experiences, and it's your responsibility to build the systems that would power that life that you require for yourself, and also to sustain discipline. Discipline is very key. The time that people would spend maybe watching TikTok videos, DSTV, or looking at jokes, entertainment videos, and all of that, you might need to spend that time in building something that would last. If we look at a lot of people who have really built something, I can imagine when Gypsy started, Juliana at the time, she's somebody who is very restless. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but that has been one of her own greatest strengths. She doesn't, she's restless, one idea on the other, one idea on the other. I remember when she would have to run the mentorship session, nursing a baby, the baby on her bosom, behind or beneath the camera. She's breastfeeding a child in a mentorship session, and nobody can tell. She would fix a mentorship session on a day after delivery of a child and still show up. So if somebody can be that's the resilience that really built Gypsy, and I needed to really share that experience with us. If somebody can do that because they want to reach out to somebody, they want to impact somebody, they want to share information with somebody else who is in need of that information for them to become better, then I'm asking myself the question, what is it that I can start doing now, knowing that there is nobody that is going to come through for me to get certain things done. So it's on the premise of that particular experience that I'm sharing with us today that we have a very bright world ahead of us. Are we going to make all the excuses? Are we going to underperform? Are we going to blame the government? Are we going to blame the government? Are we going to blame? I had to say government. This is the third time government, so that you would know that the future that lies ahead of you is not government dependent. It has nothing to do with who is in power. It has everything to do with your vision and the discipline with which you would attack that path that you've chosen. The other thing I would say is you need to break certain things down. You need to ask yourself, the decisions I'm currently making, where is that decision taking me to? What are the steps that I need to take? What must I learn? What must I learn to become that person? If you look at your past, for example, having worked with several companies that have failed, sometimes I ask myself, where did certain things go wrong? So if you look at yourself right now, you might be asking, okay, where have I gone wrong? Where can I make certain corrections? What must I correct? And be true to yourself. Write all of this down and see how you can begin to take those incremental steps towards improving yourself on a day-to-day basis. The other thing I would also mention, which I actually wrote down here, is that because the most powerful boardroom you would ever sit in is the one inside your own life. So within your thoughts, like within your mind, like what's your how do you make decisions for yourself? It's a rhetorical question, but it's something that you can actually think about. How do you make decisions? What decisions are you making? Who are you trying to model? Who are you modeling? Who can you model? What can you be better at? Who do you need to join you on your journey? What team are you considering? How can you move beyond making your own how can you move beyond making your own mistakes and learning from the mistakes of others? I think that's what this mentorship program is really about. And at the core of it is the spirit that says we have to constantly outperform. Outperforming just simply means that you are making a little improvement every day towards becoming a better person, and that's also very key and very important. So I would say this. As I round up, your future is actually waiting for you, right? Your future is waiting for you. For some of us here, we might be in 100 level, 500 level. Some of us here are already professionals. We're doing big things already, but you can do better. You can do better with the right team. You can do better with the right mindset. You can do better with the right structure. In fact, there's this guy I used to listen to, Dr. Myron Golden. He would talk about, the skill sets, the mindset, the skill sets, and the tool sets. So when you look at that triangle, it definitely starts here. And that is what Gypsy has helped you to achieve, the mindset quotient of your life. I'm sure that everybody has made a little shift within their mindset. So that's very beautiful. You are in school and you are going through life, you would pick up certain tools, certain tool sets, certain systems that would work for your life. You would also pick up certain skill sets. Those skills have to be honed. You have to become better at it. And it all starts by just doing the little you can every day and being consistent. Like somebody would say that praying 10 minutes every day, is better than praying for, 100 hours at once. So it's the incremental steps that we are assured that through this program, you've been able to at least have certain disciplines that will take you beyond where you currently are. So I just want to say, continue to live a structured life. It's very important. Personally, I'm not a very structured person. I'm learning to structure the hard way because my personal temperament necessarily is not such that really, likes to flow through structure. I mostly flow through vision personally. I mostly flow through vision, and I try to surround myself with a lot of people who are structured. That gives me the balance, because if I go so hard on structure, I might lose the essence of vision. So much of the time, I stay within vision so that I can move around with people who who are more structured. So depending on the kind of person that you are, just know that structure is very important for you. And you must also be very intentional. What's your aim in life? What's your goal? It's not just about money. It's about life. It's about relationships. It's about collaborations. It's about impact. There are a lot of things that there are a lot of ways that you can bring yourself to say, okay, I'm successful in this area without necessarily comparing yourself, to the results that other people have. You can also create your own track at the end of the day. And the final thing I would mention here before we round up is you must have a power statement for your life. Was it Martin Luther King? He was talking about the blueprint. Life's blueprint. You can find that speech on YouTube. Life's blueprint. It would shift something in your mind. For you to know that you have a power statement. There's something that you've thought about. This is where you want to head to head towards, and I can tell you that the most important pictures really are the pictures that you paint in your mind. Once you can have that power statement about this is what my life is supposed to be, this is where I'm headed, these are the people I want to go on this journey with, these are the people that I do not want to go on this journey with. That's also very important. It's not necessarily all about having to say this is my to-do list. Also important is your not to do list. So if you get back after this session, just sit back for a few minutes and you can just do that simple test. What are the things that I must do on the weekend? What are the things that I must not do? But you need to have that power statement, the statement that pushes you, that makes you realize your own personhood. Everybody is a unique being. We are all unique in our different ways, but you must have that power statement behind your life. I think I would stop here for now, but I want to really congratulate all the mentees. Thank you for pulling through on this program. I also want to congratulate all the mentors. Without the mentors, there would be no Gypsy. Without the mentees, there will be no Gypsy. So we are eternally grateful that we've been able to create a system where mentees can be mentored through the mentors who subscribe to the Gypsy Academy platform. We cannot thank you enough. And I just want to say that, we'll continue to meet professionally speaking. And I hope that this program would be the foundation for one person here to become that example that the future requires to make our country and, of course, Africa and the world at large a very much greater place to live in. Thank you so very much, and God bless you.
Joseph, can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dennis.
All right, so sorry. My network has been giving me some kind of challenge, and I just thank God I was able to after you were done with your keynote speech. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for sharing with us your thoughts and just the encouragement to the mentees. I hope on the sides of the mentees that we do not take these words for granted. So I just want to just also put this out there that the idea behind Gypsy started as a decision to give back, right? A decision to give back, and it was built on the back of the desire to want to train, to want to invest in a generation, the next generation, and upon that desire, we're able to build this structure, and this structure so far in the last 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, has trained over 2,000 mentees, of which you are now today part of. And we want to just know that there is a reason for structure. There is an idea that you can have that necessarily become the backbone upon which you can have something that is solidly moving forward. So thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for what you have, and we sincerely do appreciate. So just moving forward, during the introduction, while I was welcoming the mentors and running through the agenda. After our keynote speech, we'll be having our mentees share with us their experience alongside with our mentors, 3 minutes each. So, like I said, what we'll be doing is that you'll be introducing yourself. You'll be letting us know your name, the course you took, and then your experience so far in the program and what you intend to use the knowledge for. Because we believe and we expect that you have not just gotten theoretical, it's not just about the theories, about just knowing about the courses that you've engaged with. You've also gotten professional advice, and we expect that you learn or you are eager to apply some of those things you have had and you have learned in class in now a more physical and a more practical world setting, right? So we'll just be moving on to the mentees, like I said, to just share with us their experience over the course of this program using the formats that I have stated. So I think I will start with Yusuf Taiwo, right? We'll just move on with the progression, call you 3 minutes max, right? Let's quickly run through that. And then as more mentors joining, we'll have them also come give us advice, and then we'll just run through what is left of this event. So Taiwo, please, you can go ahead and start off. Okay, I can see you are trying to unmute. Is that what is going on?
Oh, sorry, am I doing?
Yes, yes. Yes, so we can
Oh,
see you. Please.
okay, thank you very much. So basically, the whole mentorship program was actually fantastic, like I said earlier. Then, the video session and everything. So it was actually very educating and enlightening. And my own, I think our course was AI advancement and emerging technology. So it was actually because I was actually looking forward to I was actually looking forward to that mentorship program as regards AI advancements, due to the fact that like the technological advancements in the world right now and the fact that AI is taking over many jobs and all like that. So and the tutors they were able to tell us that okay, even as lawyers, we should not be entirely dependent on AI. That even despite the fact that AI advancement and emerging technologies like that, lawyers can actually use it as a tool and um, not consider the AI as master or something like that. So it was actually a nice and fantastic mentorship program. So I really appreciate our mentors, and there is this part also about the CV building and everything. So I think everything it was 10/10. Thank you very much for the amazing mentorship program.
Thank you very much, Taiwo. We really do appreciate your feedback. We'll be going through with more mentees. We would have them share their feedbacks, and then maybe we'll just take a small break, and then maybe move over to the mentors, any of the mentors that is available, for their own thoughts, and then we'll just continue in that progression. So, Chenny, yes, please also if you can just run us through, like I said, the structure is you tell us your name, you tell us which course you took, how the program was for you overall, and then what you intend to use the knowledge for.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Chini Ivy, and I opted out for the patent drafting class. The reason why I did that was because during my journey with learning about intellectual property, patent has been one intellectual property that I did not fully understand. So I decided to opt out for it so that I could get an in-depth understanding about it. And the mentorship program has been such a great one because now I have more knowledge and I'm more comfortable with talking about patents and even trying to draft patent applications because of the program. I really appreciate the organizers of the programs for bringing in the mentors they did because they really broke down every single thing in the way that we understand. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your feedback. We sincerely do appreciate, and I think over the course of the patent drafting class, I noticed your commitment and your consistency towards class. So it showed you had that eagerness to learn, and we really appreciate that you were able to gain from the sessions themselves. I think next we'll be going to Opemipo. Please, using the same structure, please go ahead and just let us know about your experience with the program.
Um, Hi everyone. My name is Opemipo Adereti, and the course I enrolled in is intellectual property. My experience with the course has been quite nice. As I said before, it has allowed me to interact with like-minded people, the group members that I had, and I opted for the course because when I did intellectual property law in my 400 level, I was really interested in the course. So I opted for the course to learn more about it and to know whether this is something I want to maybe specialize in one day or go into deeper studies in. So the course was quite nice. It was nice to have the structure of the classes, like every every Friday we had the classes, and then on Saturdays we would have our tasks for the week, and Wednesday would be submission date. So it was nice to have that kind of structure and to have the resources that we did from the mentors, and because the mentors that we had came from different specialties or different areas of specialization. So it was nice to have their inputs and their insights with everything. And what I intend to use the knowledge for is I hope like all the classes were sorry, I have some background noise.
Sorry, we could hear you just fine, right? So we're expecting that you were going to finish up with it, but it's fine.
Okay, sorry, I can quickly finish up. So what I intend to use the knowledge for is that I hope to maybe pursue something like that in the future, maybe for masters or something like that, or any thesis that I may write.
All right, thank you very much, Opemipo, for sharing with us your experience in the program and your feedback. So I think we'll take a little break here on the sides of the mentees, and we just want to listen to some of the mentors that we have on the call. Just maybe a word of encouragement to the mentees. We have some mentors who were with us like throughout from week 1 to week 5, and they were just very intentional about being available, making sure that they contribute their own parts and their own quotas, right? And I think one of such mentors that we had was Mr. Ayobami. Mr. Ayobami was one of our mentors under the energy industry course. So we would like to just get to hear from you, sir, maybe in the next 2 or 3 minutes, share a word of advice for our mentees.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I mean, it's anything that has a beginning or end, so that's good. And all I would say is this, that, I mean, the last few weeks, what Gypsy has tried to do is to give you a purpose, a direction, and also share the knowledge of the main mentors so that you'd also have a way of forming your own purpose and your own goals and your own aspiration. Law I always say it's a lifelong learning project and development. No matter what, how many years you are post-call, you always have to want to learn more and more because law is dynamic, so that's it, And I always say this, as much as possible, hit the books, learn from, get certifications if you can. There are a lot of free certifications worldwide, understand? So be on the lookout for them. Also, practical knowledge also is very important. So you have to put yourself in, especially in the early stage, build your knowledge base. I mean, know your stuff, know your onions, and of course, also try and get certifications as much as you can, because just sometimes if you have so much knowledge remaining certifications to get you to the interview room, for example, or for them to give you audience before they can see how much practical grounded you are. So I would say that have a mixture of short courses if you can. It doesn't have to be a year or two postgraduate studies, no. Short courses, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, there are good schools around the world that always offer that for little or nothing sometimes. Then, of course, learn from a lot of people. Learn from your peers, learn from your senior, but you must have the diligence to want to see and the purpose to want to see it's true that you are the best at anything you do. I wish you best for the best for the future, and we hope one way or the other we'll meet at the top. Good luck, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ayobami. So Mr. Ayobami, like I mentioned, one of our mentors in the energy industry. I think there's a lot to say about him. He has been a very, very consistent mentor for us, I think, over the course of the last 3 years. And it has always been really nice getting to hear him share his experience and his knowledge in class. If you follow through with the sessions, you would see that he is very, very research inclined, right? And most of his advice to the mentees are mostly driven towards getting them prepped to do adequate research, making sure that they follow through with the work as they ought to. So please, for the mentees, post this mentorship, we also want you to imbibe some of that traits, right? A trait that is geared towards learning, towards refining yourself in terms of your research. And like you said, make sure that you know your onions. So thank you, Mr. Ayobami, for your shared thoughts with our mentees. So just to go back to the mentees, while we would be hearing from some of the mentors a bit later on, we would be okay. Let me see if there's anybody I can call on. Ayomide, I can see you. Please, can you go ahead and just let us know your experience in the course of this program? We will not be so long, right? So, but we just want to hear you. We just want to hear you. This is for us like a feedback, right? It is not just for us to just come and wish you bye. We want to get your feedback. So please, Ayomide, please, over to you. Okay, I can see you are trying to mute. You are muted.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ayomide Oraba. So this mentoring program has been very, very impactful, especially because I'm just there. Well, I'm not a young wig anymore, but I'll still call myself a young wig. And when I came into law, I started researching on aspects of law that when there wasn't litigation, and that was why I decided along the line, I started researching on data protection. And I think on LinkedIn, I saw that Gypsy was, I think, doing a mentoring, I think it was last year or so. But this year I decided to register for data protection and privacy. So when I registered for data protection and privacy, the first class, I was at first, because I also work as a litigation lawyer. So at first it was, there were articles and all that. But I was still happy when Mr. Obot spoke about structure, because for one thing, I think it was another thing that made me build a particular structure, because I had to submit deadlines. I think I was mostly article. I had to write articles and also show up in court the next day. I've learned a lot about data privacy, and I think what I'm going to do with the data protection that I've learned is there's this certification that one of the mentors, I can't remember the mentors, told us about, that we could actually get before branching into one other thing I learned was also branching into international law and branching into data protection internationally. So there's this certification that he suggested that we go for. So I've looked into, although it has closed, but I saw something that's related to that kind of certification, and it's also endorsed by the NDPC. So yeah, so I tried to reach out to them, and I think it's currently open. So that's what I intend to do with it. And I really want to thank like the mentors. They were really, in fact, they used live cases, real life cases. Even the program we had last week about FinTech, there are so many things that I didn't know about it that I just even figured out, and I started doing my research on it. And I don't know if I will be back also to get mentorship on that on maybe another cohort, but it was a very, really nice experience. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ayomide. We are happy to hear that the program has been that impactful to you. So going next, I think we'll be listening to Toluwase Ekundayo. Sorry if I didn't get the pronunciation of your name very well. Please, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dennis. I'm very, very grateful. My name is Toluwase Ekundayo, and I want to really appreciate Gypsy for this mentorship program. Previously, I discovered Gypsy on Twitter when I was digging deep into data protection, and in my research, Gypsy was part of the recommendations from one of the data protection officers I followed or I learned from. And I discovered that ever since my interaction with the classes, the trainings, the mentors, more light, more enlightenment has been given. I will pitch my tent with what Ayomide said, Barrister Ayomide, when she spoke about many interaction, life cases. Before now, I got a certification on GDPR with Cyber Alliance Academy, one information security company in the UK. And I just thought that at the time I got that certification, I was like, the NDPC, do we have anything active or are we pursuing anything in relation to data protection in Nigeria? And I'm really grateful for the mentors in the mentorship class for data protection and privacy, how they brought in, life cases, judicial decisions that made light and made more clear the NDP Act. I'm really grateful for Gypsy for the privilege. And then this has really positioned my mind, positioned my heart to pursue in-depthly a career path in data protection aside litigation and other parts of law. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tolu. We really, really appreciate your feedback. So I think we'll be taking one mentee and then we'll go back to a mentor. Akimbade Adeola, please, we would want to also get to hear you share your experience with us.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for this internship. It's been very, very inspiring. I enrolled for intellectual property, and before I enrolled, I wasn't really interested in IP. I just wanted to know what it's all about because it's an elective in my school, but I didn't take it. I took international law. But since I had the opportunity to, I found the flyer on LinkedIn, and then I registered for it. And it's been the mentors are so amazing, genuinely. Like the previous person said, the real life cases that they used, and also the 2 sessions ago, when we talked about human rights, and also the CV session, it was really good. And so many things that the ATS system and everything, it was just really nice. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's very inspiring. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Adeola. We appreciate your feedback. So moving back to a mentor we have on the call, I think we have Mr. Oluwaseyi Aruwosegbe. Mr. Oluwaseyi is a mentor with us on the entertainment business and law class. quite a very comprehensive entertainment lawyer. I think Mr. Oluwaseyi, if I'm not mistaken, is a lawyer in Abuja here, and also, like I said, a mentor for us or with us. Mr. Oluwaseyi, if you're with us, please, we also want to just hear you give a word of encouragement to our mentees, and overall, just maybe any highlights that you would want to share with them. Are you with us, sir?
Yes, thank you so much. Already, I'm not able to show my face and some seclusion at the moment. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Mentors and mentees on the call. Gypsy has given birth to a very beautiful thing. I've been part of this for since 2022, if my records bear me right. I've been able to chip in one or two sessions to mentees, give back to some of the things I know in theory and that I do in practice. So my commitment to mentees, people who have gone through the process, people who are still going through, is to make good use of what they are learning and what they've learned. No knowledge is waste, and there's need to practicalize. There's need to also give back. There's need to see how you can, keep it ongoing. Look out for persons who you can bring into the fold, bring them to Gypsy, set up sessions with your friends or colleagues and pass on the knowledge to them. The space for practice is so wide, there are no adequate professionals out there. So you can always have as many as possible join the field to do what we do at the moment. So once again, it's a good one that we do this and just keep it going, no stopping at all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Oluwaseyi. We really, really do appreciate your feedback. Like Mr. Oluwaseyi mentioned, he has been a mentor with us for quite a while, right? I think one of the areas he mostly handles in the entertainment, business, and law classes on comedy skits and digital content, and also photography and visual arts, the intellectual property aspects to it, and overall just the industry around it. So thank you so much, Mr. Oluwaseyi. We really, really do appreciate your feedback or your word of encouragement to the mentees. So just going further, right, we'll just take a few other mentees, and then we'll just then try from there to start wrapping up the program, because we do not intend that this is going to be a very, very, we don't intend for it to be very, so just to still Adebi, Ajoke, Deborah, please, if you're with us, we also want to hear you share your experience. Deborah, are you with us?
Yes, so can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adebi Adejoke Deborah, and the course I took is intellectual property. My experience with the mentorship program, at first I heard about Gypsy from a friend of mine who had also taken intellectual property as a course previously. So she introduced me to Gypsy and told me to give it a try. So when I joined Gypsy, I didn't have any prior and foundational knowledge on intellectual property. But I think from the very first class, even to the last session that we had, it had been very enlightening. I learned so many areas of intellectual property. Now, what do I want to use IP to do? I'm thinking of basing my final year project on intellectual property, although I have not narrowed the exact aspects I want to focus on, but I hope that will be done as soon as possible. And I would also love to delve into the area of intellectual property, basically as a career, both nationally and internationally. So thank you very much, Gypsy.
All right, thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you for your shared thoughts on your experience so far. So overall, we just want to thank our mentees, right? I know that the experience itself was not necessarily easy. I'm sure having to do the research and participate, in the presentation work week in, week out must have been really strenuous on us. On my own end, it was really kind of also stressful having to get to reach out to you, find out how far you guys are making your progression with your work, and all the things that comes with that, right? But I am happy to see that for most of us on this call, we're able to pull through. We're able to pull through in terms of the activities and the engagements and making sure that we show up for class, right? We do hope that this character that we have in the last 7 weeks tried to inculcate into you, right? The character that has been built up of learning and making research, it continues with you, it stays with you, and then you keep up with the relationships that you have built here. Like Mr. Joseph mentioned, right? One of the objectives of the mentorship program in itself is for you to gain access to networking, right? You are to network with your mentors and also the mentees. So please, with the people who you are in the same group with overall just the mentees in your cohorts or in your class, right? Make sure you keep the relationship over time. Yeah, you don't know which opportunities will be coming that you may have access to them on the basis of the fact that you have built interaction with some of the mentees that you have met here, right? So please, I want to encourage us. And the idea behind Gypsy is that Gypsy continues as a family, right? We don't just, okay, after these 7 weeks, that is all. That All right, so sorry. So sorry. My network hasn't been today, right? We are slowly coming to the end of the closing ceremony. The idea around the closing ceremony is to get to interact with you for the last time, get to personally say our final wishes for you, wishes to you, get to have this discussion here, right? So for the last time, right, let's quickly take our pictures. I think under the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program, this is the very last time you will probably be doing this, except if you're coming back to take another course, right? So please, let's quickly turn on our videos. Let's take our very last picture time for the program. All right, so we are done with that. Thank you everyone for participating in that. So just before we close, right, I still want to bring up Mr. Joseph to just give us just his final words, right, in relation to everything that he has said so far, and also with the program, and just overall, just getting a closing remark from him while we close this session. So, Mr. Joseph, can we just quickly get a closing remark from you while we draw a curtain to the closing ceremony?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so my closing remark here for the program here, it was good though. It was good, but honestly, I wasn't like fixed into the program like that. But I followed up, I did some assignment and shit. But it was good. Yeah, it was perfect. From our teammates, what we did, yeah, it
Thank you,
was
Joseph. I thought you did not mean you're Joseph, actually, you.
No,
But
but he
thank you
did a
all the
very
same.
great job. Let's that was really spot on. Thank you, Joseph. And it's a great thing that we share the same name. But I wish I was in your shoes right now, because I think I wouldn't have actually said it any better. But I just want to say a very big thank you to everyone. Just adding to what Joseph has already said, I want to say a very big thank you to everyone for being part of the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program. I want to thank our mentees as well, our mentors. I want to thank the Gypsy team. I want to thank Dennis. I want to thank Sophie. Thank you so much. It's a lot of work to have to be part of all the mentorship sessions, like the information overload. Like I can imagine what that does to someone to be part of every single mentorship program, then also have to coordinate the entire program. So if we don't mind, we can just give Dennis like a thumbs up in the comment section. Dennis has done extremely well. I also want to thank Sophie as well. Thank you so much, Sophie, for the great job that you and Dennis have done throughout this program. Finally, I can only just say that the best is ahead of us, right? The very best is ahead of us. Don't be afraid of what the future holds. Embrace it. Like, have your power statement. There should be something that really like drives you all the time. Let God also be your guiding principle, because at the end of the day, I believe we're all spiritual people. You're either a Christian or a Muslim, primarily. Hold on to God's promises and keep delivering at your best every opportunity that you get. I would also want to just add that, there is nobody that is really self-made. There is no self-made legal practitioner out there. I did everything all by myself. There's nobody that would say, okay, I built this. Nobody builds anything tangible all by themselves. So see how you can work with people. I cannot really say this enough. See how you can work with people. From the little that I know, like legal practice, sometimes when you're taught in law school, I know not all of us here are lawyers, but there's that whole individualism, like myself, my law firm, me. There's just a limit that you can do when you are acting all by yourself. So learn how to collaborate, and the right time is now. For those of us still in school, learn how to collaborate, do politics, do a lot of things, be engaged in a lot of activities, like spread yourself, collaborate with people. It's a people game out here, and I trust that with everything that we've learned here, during the mentorship program so far, the best is the only outcome, really. And I just must say thank you for giving us the opportunity as Gypsy to mentor you. And we don't take that lightly. For you to have spent time on this platform, it's a big deal. It's a great deal. We appreciate you. I think basically you guys are the real MVPs, really. You guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so very much, and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Joseph. So just before we go, while we wrap up for the whole event, right? So we want to especially just celebrate some of our mentees that did extremely well over the course of the program. So during the course of this last week 7, in the tasks and the activities we gave you, one of it was the quiz that we accumulated, right? A quiz that we put together for you. I guess most of us did take the test, right? So we did try to see how best we could to give like a grading to it. But it was not just about the quiz, right? It was also overall your performance in terms of your response to articles, to your postings, to your attendance to session, and also to your attendance to session, and also your work in the presentation overall. And then we accumulated it, and we brought out a flyer for, we've made a flyer for it, right? I will not be able to share it here, but after we are done with the call, I will post the flyer, share your scores with you guys so that you can see overall how you have done over the course of the program. I believe that it's just necessarily to celebrate you, right, for your performance and for your overall contribution to the mentorship program. And also, we have another category for those who were relatively very active over the course of the program. We have another category for that. Based off of that, for the mentees that came out as the best in their particular course, right, that were awarded the best in their particular course, you have the option. We'll be sending you a flyer to indicate that, there's a flyer, a certificate, right, a congratulatory certificate to that effect, right, for your performance. And also we'll be extending also a hand in the sense that if you want to come back for the the next program, or you want to come back, you want to be a part of the Gypsy Mentorship Program, you can do that for absolutely free of charge in the next cohort, right? So for both the best mentees that came out best on top in terms of their course, and for the most active, in that light, you can come back at any time, take another program or another course for absolutely free, right? So I still want to encourage us. This is just us making announcements before we go, right? We are completely done. Uh, Also, I want to say that for those who have not yet filled the certificate form, please make sure to do that. That is how we get to, if at all, when we are preparing certificates, that is what we're going to use to prepare your certificates. Is how we will get your informations and to keep after now. So please, if you haven't filled in the certificate form, kindly do well to fill it in, right? And we have some other groups that, like I said, I mentioned the alumni group. We have an alumni group. We'll be sending the link for you to join the alumni group. Please make sure you join. Like I said, we have opportunities that we share on those groups. Things that you can take advantage of. We do share them on the alumni community. So please make sure to join. And also, we do have a moderation group, a group where we have moderators who come to moderate class. Please, if you are interested in moderating sessions, you can just volunteer to do that. And anytime we are organizing a program like this, we'll call you on to volunteer to that extent. Right. So for the announcements, that is that for now. If there are any other further announcements, I will share them with you on your group. Yeah, so thank you everyone once again. It has been a blessing and a pleasure working with each and every single one of us. For any person that they have not necessarily been pleased with maybe my approach in terms of the demands I put on you for work, you submit your presentation, your articles, and the rest and the rest. My sincere apologies. It's just to make sure overall we have the best outcome from the program. So thank you, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope and we wish to see every single person here at the very top. All right, bye-bye, and take care, everyone.
Yeah, please let's connect on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to connect with everyone, as many people as possible. Let's be friends. Let's take it further. Yeah, bye. See you guys.